Check it out.
Before you pull that trigger, I would like the chance to tell you some things. Don't worry about me stalling. My people have orders to lead me to my studies for another 15 minutes. I will only take 5. Can you bear with me?
Check it out.
Will you? Then make up your mind.
Check it out.
Belly wasn't a bad movie. Maybe you missed the message. A hip-hop noir film, a first of its kind. It's not a lot of movies you can watch with the sound down. The cinematography is powerfully stylized to purposely tantalize your irises with dazzling visuals. Mesmerizing while marked with a mood of pessimism and menace, it's an exemplifying yet simple tale about redemption. It should have been the future of the gangster movie. Check it out. What I see is a respectable plot with respectable actors. Some will try to hate on this movie. Like some gonna mention it was bad acting. But I beg to differ. Moments like Nas tapping Mark because Bun's feelings was hurt.
I say sorry, because you hurt my feelings.
Or when Rico Guys gave Method Man that fake handshake. Those type of subtleties are hard to produce if it's not for good actors. And while you got me talking, great actors admit playing a role is fine, but becoming a character is far more superior. Nasir Jones, or as he's known to the culture, Nas, is sincere, an optimistic existentialist, and Earl DMX Simmons, dark man himself as the unstoppable, volatile, nihilistic Bundy. Two sides of the same coin. Both are just basically playing glorified versions of themselves. Brilliant at best if you understand each artist's persona. Nas as the cool, calm, collective, streetwise sage, and the unpredictable, unadulterated, outspoken, double R himself, DMX. It's natural for them to play these characters. Sincere's narration is framed as reasoning, while the freak force of nature that is Bundy blazes through a violent path on the streets, leaving death and destruction behind him. I love how they just let these characters be, instead of just having the talent act. In doing so, we see and feel DMX's real natural voice, and it brings far more intensity and realism to every scene he's in. Through the lens of Hype Williams, real street stories were archived with vibrancy and intensity. Not only the king of the fisheye lens, his work in the 90s with music videos was as important to the culture as the music was itself. It's just too bad he only had one feature film. What does the title mean? Belly.
Belly.
A belly is what a pregnant woman has. It's the promise of what is to be, as well as the origin of what is. On the other side, it's also the final destination for the feast of the beast, ergo, belly of the beast. Metaphorically, it's another name for hell. In it, we're observing Nas and DMX as they attempt to navigate through it. Belly is the location where our characters are born. It's the depths of which they're trying to escape. Check it out. When you see it, you're gonna be enchanted visually by this movie's stunning and striking style. Not one shot was wasted. The director attempted to challenge a contemporary hero and argues for his atonement. In the opening scenes, Tommy says, "We see a young boy seemingly selling his soul to the devil to possess, I guess, skills of hustling." This scene reveals more than it says, such as, who the hell exposed Tommy to Santeria, or the practice of voodoo? By the way, that's DMX's real son, Xavier. This intro frames Tommy's relationship with money, power, and hustling. This is how we ended up in the belly. From that, it has given us the intro everybody remembers. Current, unstoppable Tommy motherfucking Bunz. In a nutshell, Belly is the story of Tommy Bunz selling his soul, then attempting to recover. For Tommy Bunz, slipping into a life of hustling and criminal behavior is easy, as selling one's soul to the devil is cheap. I get it. To foreign eyes, this film seems like a long hip-hop video because of the feel and the look of it. By using this aesthetic, the director purposely challenges viewers in an ostentatious manner in the climactic ending with Bunz and the symbolic version of the most honorable Louis Farrakhan. The monologue of the minister's character was literally preaching to the audience how much of a hand we have in our own destruction. Hype inserting this into the story couldn't have been more blatant of a message. He was trying to wake us up. Most people that don't like this movie fail to realize this fact. The minister character in this movie is important. What he was saying was, some of the choices we choose in life, we know are wrong, and yet we perpetuate it. And he goes on to say why they should be changed. This was the DNA which made this a classic. Those unassociated with the culture or wannabe gangsters completely miss, most likely willfully ignore this message. People dismiss this film as trashy or a current version of Blaxploitation, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. On paper, Belly is just another crime drama about a life of street crime and how it ends up, where even the mightiest must fall. But in its execution lies perhaps the greatest display of substance in contemporary cinema. Yeah, this movie, more than other hood movies, flagrantly addressed some of the problems we face in the hood today. Yes, this movie spends time glorifying violence and sex while glamorizing drug use. Yes, it also displays the perils of a nihilistic, self-destructive lifestyle that has led to the death of so many of our young. So yeah, this movie is not your typical crime drug flick. Check it out. The leading women in this movie displayed levels of strength, vulnerability, loyalty, pain, and perseverance, far from damsels in distress. Keisha, played by Tiara Hicks, she was the epitome of ride or die. Despite cheating, fed raids, even getting beat up by meth, and she still was down for Bunz. She was just as fierce as she was dominating and unapologetic. Tiana Watts, T-Boz from TLC, she plays Sincere's wife. Like her man, she was the voice of reason and stability throughout all the chaos.
Shit, nigga, please, be for real.
Everybody remembers her for noticing Africa is far. She too faced Method Man and didn't back down.
Africa's far.
So what?
Shaquita was probably the most dangerous person in the movie. She was an assassin for hire. She was who killed the original Don Dada. Other notable characters: Clifford M.E.T.H.O.D. Man Smith. He played the role of the vicious hired muscle Shanique. This was only his third movie role, and he was slick talking but lethal.
Who want test me? Come on! Come on!
Lenny Rankins, the original Jamaican Don Donna, Lennox as we know it, Lennox. Before this movie, many people in Jamaica and around the world knew him as a Jamaican dancehall artist. After this movie, bet money every time you see him, he gonna ask you, who gonna test me, man?
The truth is, we all play a grave role.
Not given enough attention is the role of the minister played by Dr. Benjamin Franklin Chavez, who in his youth was an assistant to Martin Luther King Jr. He was a president of the NAACP and was chosen second for this role. Farrakhan was the first choice. And at first, Farrakhan and the nation agreed to do it, but chose not to later. It was probably better not to put that energy out there anyway. What are you going to do now? Now that you know everything you've been doing was wrong. Check it out. 6 lessons from Belly. Number 1, be patient.
Just gotta be patient, dog. Just be patient. Be patient.
2, these existential questions Nas was asking himself. What are we here for? What's your purpose, dog? What do you put on this earth to do? These are all internal inquiries we should be asking ourselves.
Oh God, I got other shit going on in my life though, you know?
What is this, 3? There is a process. Put the weed in the bag.
Then get money.
Respect the process to accomplish your goals. 4, women are just as dangerous as men. if not more. Shaquita killed Lennox. Keisha killed Meth. 5. It's never too late to change. 6. Hood figures are not monolithic. Bunz is a nihilist, while Sincere is an existentialist. 2 sides of the same coin. Not only equal partners, they're reflections of one another. These 2 men represent not only the attached ideologies, but the process by which these ideologies are vexed in the film.
We all have knowledge of self, but still we was acting like
You see it when both of these men realize the error of their ways simultaneously. Sincere while reviewing literature, and Bunz while witnessing the death he could have prevented. Did y'all hear Snakes when the government was talking to Bunz? Understand, they can't take you down without your aid. Those same snake sounds could be heard in the conversation with Shamik and Knowledge, with Method Man and Knowledge.
Knowledge bone. What's the science, baby?
Oh shit, what the fuck are y'all doing in my house?
Relax, shorty. Nobody here to fuck with you.
In the end, what Hype did is often very hard for others to describe. Within all our despair, danger, and destruction, our environment can feel so alive with color and vibrant with excitement. For all its gaudiness, the message in Belly is about our struggle to overcome our sense of nihilistic despair. Move wisely. In case you was wondering, the movie Gummo was in the film only because Hype loved it for its cinematography, so he paid homage. Did you know, Buddy right here, that's Kane from Menace to Society? He also wanted to play the role of Bunz.
I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
If it wasn't for the Jamaica dance hall scene in Belly,
that movie,
there would be no
and
DJ
the scene in Jamaica, the dance hall scene in Jamaica, made me stop and say, I want to be a DJ. And I want to be a reggae DJ.
DMX and Sean Paul fell out during this movie. DMX wanted to get on the song Give Me the Light, but Sean Paul went with Buster instead. Lennox is the definition of typecast. Where Sincere gets attacked in the barbershop is 1 block over from where Jam Master Jay of Run DMC was murdered. Rest in peace, King.
Oh yeah.
Yo, I'm getting ready to blow, Don.
Hype wanted Jay-Z originally for the role of Bunz. Tiara Hicks, or Keisha, that's the same girl from Bronx Tale.
I am trying to sleep.
T-Boz used her real name in the movie. Did Mark's shirt remind anyone else of Thor?
Go get some sleep, my dog.
Alright, hot take here. Bunz was a low-key pedophile. Shorty he was letting suck him off? She was only 16, bruh.
The night before last. I said I sucked his dick the night before last.
She was not 19.
He showed me how to tongue kiss and everything. We were like best friends. Sorry things ain't working out for you two.
A lot of people in this movie refer to each other as gods. It's not only a New York thing. It's how those who practice 5% of ideology talk. Do your Google on the Nation of Gods. In case you missed it, Buddy right there had glitter all over his chest in the dance hall scene. Good thing Hype had pushback with some of this movie. He wanted to have DMX and Nas glossy, like sweaty and shiny looking, like they was dipped in oil. Good thing it didn't look well on film samples, so they scraped the idea. Check it out. To learn more about the books Nas was reading, I included a link in the description below. Yo, I'm Fox. This is Check It Out. Like, share, and subscribe so the big homie can survive. Y'all be cool, man. Appreciate you.
He was one of those PhD niggas, though. A player-hating dickhead. You know how to fuck with him, right?